Good morning. Welcome to day 24. It's 7:35 on the 13th of March. We're leaving Standing Bear. That's the tree house you're looking at right there. You can see the main house in the background. So we stayed in the bunkhouse last night. We got there yesterday about 1, I think. And there's a wood stove in the bunkhouse. There's no fire in it yet. Well, there wasn't anybody in there until we got there. So we checked in. A guy named Hawk was running the place. He met us. He's a good guy. He's courteous, and he'll take care of you. Got inside and I built a fire in the wood stove. Kept it going all afternoon and into the evening. Got the place pretty warm. Actually brought back a lot of memories because growing up, my parents had a wood stove that they supplemented the oil furnace heat with. So spent a lot of time cutting firewood, splitting firewood as a young man, carrying it into the house to put in the wood stove. So carrying in those armloads of split wood reminded me of all of that. But got a good fire going, actually a little too good, because some of the guys sleeping near the stove complained that they were sweating. So asked me not to put any more wood in there. But it stayed warm, pretty warm in there all night with the bed of coals we had. Unfortunately, I didn't get much sleep because there was a person in there that has a serious snoring issue, and I went to sleep with my earplugs in, but that person was right beside me, and there was this snow. I even wrapped a pillow around my head, and between 12 and 1 they were just at peak volume, and there was no sleeping through that. But I did get a couple hours sleep up until about 3, and they started in again, and I realized one of my earplugs had fallen out. But I was able to find it when I got up this morning, so if I need 2 earplugs later. But it's a little chilly this morning, not too bad. Probably in the high 30s. It's supposed to be cold today, and I think in the 20s tonight, but the sky's pretty clear right now, so I have big hopes that when we get up to Max Patch, it'll be clear. So I'll do some filming when we get there, if it's clear. This is where I am right now. This is the road that leads from the trail up to Standing Bear. It's probably about a quarter mile or so. But we're going to be going straight up this mountain when we get down here to this curve. I wanted to spare you all my usual huffing and puffing going up the hill. So we're going to do 15.4 today to Russell Fort Shelter. So let's get in this early start. Should be able to do it. All right. I'll check in with you later. Until then, reboot, heading north. We've been hiking about an hour, and we've hiked back up to where the snow was. The sun was trying to come up. Well, I guess it did come up, but went back behind the clouds up there. It's almost 10 o'clock. We've been hiking for 2 hours, and this is Snowbird Peak, 4,257 feet elevation. That climb from Standing Bear is no joke. It's not as long as coming out of NOC, but it's a couple miles shorter than that. But the 4 miles, mile for mile, it's just as hard in my opinion. As you can see, the conditions have changed significantly from what they were down at Standing Bear. Still hoping that the sun will burn through this before we get to Max Patch. But then again, if it does, I'm going to be snowblind. Oh, there's that famous FAA facility. I didn't realize that here is where it was, but if you want a good explanation of what it does, watch Steve Walker's video. Since he's a pilot, he does a good job of explaining what it is, and I would sound like an idiot if I tried to duplicate it. So well, this is I didn't realize this was a bald, so it's pretty cool. Thank God there's no wind, otherwise I'd have to put another layer on. There's Ringo coming up. So I'm just going to hike a little while, let you guys experience this the way I am. Some kind of little tracks there. Okay, that's it for now. It's 2:35 and we are approaching the summit of Max Patch. And it's not completely clear, but I'll take it. Ooh. Ooh. I guess that's the summit up there. You will not be able to hear me most likely. Alright. I'm going to shut the video down for a little bit. Okay, heading down. Just want to do a little wrap-up video for day 24. We ended up doing 18.7 today. We got to Russell Fort Shelter and it was 3:30, so we decided to go on. And it was a nice gradual downhill trail all the way down to where we are here at Lemon Gap. And we were going to go on to the next shelter, which is Walnut Mountain, and we had plenty of time, but we got to Lemon Gap and there was fresh ground, and man, it was perfect timing because it was a little cold and my stomach had been growling pretty much since Max Patch, and I'd already eaten all my bars and everything, so I was looking forward to getting to the shelter and getting my north side, or I had some potatoes left. But man, to get that hot food there with fresh ground, man, it was just perfect. And he gave us a couple grilled cheese sandwiches and a bowl of chili and a cup of hot cocoa. And then he told us to come back down here and set up camps about 2/10 of a mile south from Lemon Gap. There's a campsite here. And so we're all set up. I'm all settled in for the night, got all my layers on. It's supposed to be a cold night tonight in the teens. Just looked at Casio, and he says it's 38.6, I think, right now. So it's not too bad at the moment, but it's going to drop during the night. But shouldn't be any colder than what I had in the Smokies. So I don't even have my puffy on yet, and I'm fine. So if I get cold, I can throw that on there. But anyway, big day, 18.7 miles. It's the longest day yet. And tomorrow is about 14 to Hot Springs. So feeling real good about that. And I'll end it by saying it's all good in the woods.